beautiful sacred ones, sacred hearts, beloveds, Monica Bermudez, an intuitive quantum energy healer. I'm back for another love wisdom message that is channeled through the sacred heart. And after being out for a week, now coming back for another message that wants to come through for us at the moment this week. There's a lot going on. I posted in my Facebook group a message about July's energy, and as well as a mini oracle card reading with the Dragon Wisdom Oracle card. So check it out if you haven't. And just, also feeling that this is appropriate for the July energy. This love wisdom message that wants to come through that's being channeled at the moment. It comes with information, but it's also filled with energy in its words. So lately, I've been, getting this download of, first of all, I don't know, from an astrological point of view, the Saturn planet's in retrograde mode. And when any planet is in retrograde, it's all about going within and being internal to oneself. So it's more of a reflection, a moment in time to really search within. So Saturn, the planet by itself, has to do with the karma, with cycles and lessons learned. So that's really what karma is, the lesson learned, right? So I feel a lot of that going on with the karma, but there's also in relation to the ancestral patterns as well. So this goes in line with, relationships with people, and this could be with family, this could be with friends, this could be at work, all linked into lessons learned. And I was getting this message, right, that as much as, if we have somebody who's really complicated in our life, who may be a family member, and say that they're pretty close-minded, and it doesn't matter what you say to them. And if you keep, emphasizing, like, for instance, like if for instance, you get really triggered by somebody when they say something, and feel really hurt by that, that's, a form of triggering. That's a form of a wound. That is an emotional reaction, because we're also learning from emotions. And I would, recommend that you really sit with that and understand why it is that it is called a reactionary state. Because the thing is that we're all mirrors to one another, right? Reflection to one another. And in a karmic situation, I mean, that is part of the lessons learned, is to learn from one another. But when it gets to a point that it's just overflowing of emotional reaction that is causing so much suffering and so much stress, okay, then it is a time to really reflect and find a solution for getting into the energies and flowing with the energies of the quantum leaping, okay, into breaking free from the karmic patterns in your life. And so the key is, though, right, and I'll share, what's very important right now is that we get into our heart space. And I emphasize the heart space a lot because it is within the heart space that it also helps us to keep in this balance, to balance our emotions and balance our reactionary state in the triggering moment. Because if you're one who's spending time telling the other what to do, or reacting to it, and going into this what do you call, like a fighting or a conflict moment, that's a pattern also that should be looked at, as being something to break the cycle, right? Because it just seems like a never-ending broken record, and all it does is just make you feel unhealthy and not, or sick, in other words. Because when we put ourselves in the vibrational energy of someone else who may not be in higher vibrational energy, when we also put ourselves to that same level of lower vibrational energy, then it's also affecting our health, and also just wasting energy and time on ourselves. So the key is this, right? Okay, so you can be heart-centered, but it's also being in that moment of silence and knowing what to do. So when you take the action is when you're also setting a statement of um, keeping your own worth, showing your own worthiness, in other words. When you say that enough is enough, and that you no longer will, tolerate or take any more of anybody else's, insults or whatever is, hurting you. So of course, we're all learning from this ourselves. I, for example, have learned so much myself when it comes to triggering or emotions, and I still get it, from time to time. But I really do take a pause and really put myself in a heart center balance, and really, have to, in a way, it's called like emotional intelligence. But I find that this is a combination of the heart with the brain, and they're linking them together. And so, one of the things that I've done, and I'll give you an example, right? When I went through my divorce, and I felt that I, was really in a state that was just in a very abusive relationship. It wasn't like appropriate for me in that environment. It wasn't appropriate for him either. Okay, so in a relationship, it's a two-way street for a relationship. Okay, let's just start with that. So there was so much that I reflected, in myself as well from that, state. But I also knew that I was worthy enough not to tolerate any more of the abuse. And I felt that the healthiest option was to really be a divorce. Okay, and it wasn't an easy thing to decide or do. And so by that's an action, right? Taking an action to actually make a decision to proceed with a divorce is a form of action, but it's also making a statement that you are also keeping your healthy boundary for one, and you're worthy of having those healthy boundaries. You're worthy of not having to deal with that anymore. So when after the divorce, of course, I went through a lot of like healing in my heart, and which led to a lot of the sacred heart awakening in myself and my personal life, because I really, really reflected and really worked really deep in all the patterns in the karmic and ancestral, anything that I could find to really clear some of this. And so I am so happy to report, because actually, last night I had this dream, right? And I dreamt actually with my ex-husband. And in previous years, when I was going through a healing journey, I would dream, but it would be nightmares. But in this dream that I had, it actually was a healed state. So that to me was an indication that all the work, that has gone through with a lot of the karmic and the ancestral pattern clearing has come to a completion of cycle. And I feel that it is a karmic completion cycle, which is so appropriate, right? Because we're in the Saturn retrograde, and that's exactly what the Saturn retrograde is doing, is offering this opportunity for us to quantum leap out of our own karmic patterns and lessons that we come to learn on this life. And so that's why, I want to share this message with you, because it's so important that you take the time to really reflect on all of these, and what areas in your life do you feel you're learning from, what lessons are you getting from them. And just remember that any emotion or any triggering moment, anything that comes up or anything that you feel that's hurting you, and that still feels very delicate and sensitive, really, or just journal or ask yourself, in this, what is it about that emotion that is showing you or teaching you? This also just reflects in, it's also part of the ancestral karmic as well in any of those patterns. So if you're having issues with family members, for instance, that all links into the ancestral as well. and some of the lessons that are being learned, and what generational trauma or pain is being learned at this time, or it just needs to be broken. And so we, you and I, we all are very powerful, and I know that we can do this. And the energies right now that are very quantum are in our support to help us quantum leap, because the moment that you're able to break a cycle in any pattern that's not serving you is the moment that you will quantum leap into your next phase, in your next chapter in your life, into a new beginning. And it's also just so appropriate for this upcoming full moon that's next week. And so just keep that in mind as well, because full moon is about releasing, it's about clearing, it's about ending cycles as well. So do take advantage of those energies that we are in at this moment. And so just because, right now is July 8th, but yesterday is July 7th. So 7/7 was a portal gateway that actually initiated and opened the stargate of the portal for the Lion's Gate, that right now is building up its energy and its force for 8/8, which is at the peak moment that the Lion's Gate portal will be open. That is an opportunity of your own empowerment. So this Stargate is, linked to Sirius portal gateway. So we are with quantum energies at this time. So I hope this message has helped you. Please comment below any comments or anything you would like to share from this message. And if you haven't seen already, just a few announcements that on my website, I do have a free gift. It is called the Quantum Alignment of Soul and Heart. It is a free energy transmission gift of light language that I felt was so appropriate for these ascension times of energy fluctuation and symptoms that we've been experiencing. And so I am also experiencing, some of these symptoms myself, and I did also listen to it, the transmission that I had transmitted. And it has really helped me stay a lot more focused and sharp and be more grounded with these energies, these quantum energies. So I invite you to go over to the website and just, click on the button to claim your free gift. It's worth a lot, but I'm giving it to you as a free gift because we do need this now. Humanity needs this with all the changes and energies everywhere. And so the final announcement is that on September 23rd of 2022, I will be coming on Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love, to talk about the ancestors and the message to humanity. And we will have actually Joan of Arc come and also talk to us about this. And there's a reason why she's coming through for this ancestor message that I wish to share with all of you on the show. And we'll talk more about the ancestor patterns and do some light language transmission in that show as well. So do save the date and the time. It's just 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And I look forward to having you there with us, with Dr. Jean Farish, where we will have a conversation about this, usually always very powerful conversation and energy transmission that comes through with it. And I am looking forward to connecting with you in the next Love Wisdom message. So stay tuned for more. Much love to you. Take care.